Hey, welcome to my talk today at hardwear.io. I was already here last year, so this is my second talk at hardwear.io. Today we will talk about dropping the mic, picking up the Keystore. It's a talk about an access point from a major network supplier, sorry. I will tell the name later on, so let's start with the presentation. So about me, I'm a security analyst and researcher at ERNW in Heidelberg, Germany. I worked there since about 2 years now. I have background in electronics since many years. Love to play around with technical stuff, not only electronics, also mechanical things. Yeah, a few weeks ago I had a long beard, but my girlfriend didn't like it anymore, so I had to shave. Yep. So about us, we're a vendor-independent company, as said, from Heidelberg, Germany. Established in 2001 by yesterday's keynote speaker Enno Rai, who's also here in the crowd. We have about 60 employees, and yeah, we're about continuous growth in revenue, profits, and yeah, work in large environments. We are also a host of a Troopers conference, which is also based in Heidelberg, and our website and blog. Yep. Okay, today dropping the mic is usually about this. Today it's about a manufacturer installed certificate on an access point. It looks like this if we got access to it. So, the whole thing started as a customer project. The customer wanted to roll out these access points in his environments for his remote workers, and asked us if it is secure to roll them out, if there are any wounds in the access points. So the hardware guys at ERNW got hands on and finally found some things. The major network supplier was a big secret until yesterday because of the responsible disclosure process we went through. Yep. The thing is about the access point, you have the same Wi-Fi profile as in your company, so you don't need a VPN software laptop, so it's easy for the admins, it's easy for the users. And it uses a DTLS-tunnel between home and company. The vendor is Cisco. Yeah. It's the Cisco AeroNet 602 Office Extend access point. Long name for a small thing. And yeah. Product is end of sale and end of lifetime. Cisco, when I disclosed it to Cisco, they told me this about 5, 6, 7 times. If I am aware of this, and I said, yep, but there are wounds, so it doesn't matter for me if it's end of sale or end of lifetime. And also they want to release a patch for one of the wounds. I don't know, they wanted to give me a test, but I didn't receive any files until today. Yeah, as already said, we went through a responsible disclosure process. That's the thing we do at ERNW. It was published yesterday. I didn't hear of from the Cisco guy the whole month. So yesterday there was a mail in my mailbox, and yeah, he was asking if he could already publish it. And I said, yep, do so. Fine for me, fine for you. Timeline will be displayed later, and also white paper will be issued, I think, beginning of next week. So let's hack it. This is the PCB of the access point. There are some debug connectors. Like here, they were empty headers, so we soldered some pin headers on it, so we could easily connect. Like here, here, here. Under the RF shields are different MCUs or SOCs. And also here's a USB port, which is behind a sticker on the back of the access point because they have no use for it. What I already know is that this access point is not only used by Cisco, it's also used by, I think it's Netgear for different purposes. So there's no DTLS-tunnel to company and such things. Yep. There's also NAND flash and some footprint for, I think, a SPI flash. Yep. I only worked, the USB port was also disabled as I removed the sticker. Yeah, about UART and JTAG we will talk later. Also about the NAND. I think this is also JTAG header. The traces are going to the Wi-Fi chip. So yeah, it was not of that big interest for me. Okay, what we think we've got so far, as said, the USB was hidden behind a sticker and disabled. We have a Broadcom SoC with a MIPS ARC. Problem is about Broadcom, you don't get datasheets in the wild. Also Macronix NAND, there is it easy to get a datasheet. Also UART, JTAG, and another debug header. So step by step. Information gathering. Datasheet, not in the wild. For the NAND flash, yep. Pinouts of the headers, it's easy to get them by measuring with multimeter. JTAGulator is a pretty handy tool. Giant error, or by use of a logical analyzer. So this wasn't a big deal. I'd also tried to interface with USB via the phase dancer, but it was disabled, and also it was documented somewhere in Cisco documents that it's not enabled. Yep, the UART of this access point loves to talk a lot, so there's lots of debug output. What was pretty useful started like this. Told us it's a cafe running on it, it's Broadcom firmware environment. And yep, here's some memory addresses. A key state is, I think, 3 or 4 times mentioned while booting. So this was of interest. It tried to boot from the golden image. This was also of interest later on, until Linux kernel 2.4.20. So, this was with the most useful information for JTAG we needed later. And here again, the key states. Key state log. Okay, I had a problem. There was lots of information, no login possible. It was not interactive, and anything like Control-C won't work while booting, so you couldn't interrupt it to get into some kind of bootloader, asset cafe. Yep, but there popped up one message several times, and it was the key state. So this one NAS key was a lock in small letters, and our device was really locked, and that's what's the matter why we couldn't interface via UART. So what could we do? We could cry and give up. What's no option, because it's paid work. We could also dump the NAND flash, which I hate. I really hate it. I'm so unsuccessful with dumping NAND flash. I don't like them. Okay, use JTAG. Yeah, but why? It's not needed at first. Okay, so let's get our hands dirty. Don't know if there's an English translation for Herr Dr. das Skalpell, bitte. There's the NAND flash. I prepared it with some insulation tape to don't short some pins, because I already lost the device doing this. Okay, the idea was we tried to boot from the golden image, which is the starting the OS of this access point. The idea was to interrupt it here while it's trying to boot. So the assumption, by preventing the device from booting the golden image, it will go into some kind of recovery mode, or the bootloader cafe will pop up. So as I thought the system has to be on the NAND flash, I tried to do it this way. So we have data inputs and outputs in the NAND flash. And I just thought, okay, connect them to ground in just the right moment. The right moment was the problem, because the right moment was just a time frame from about few hundred milliseconds. Yeah, doing this by hand is hard. Okay, again, this picture. Okay, what we didn't want was the golden image load to fail. I wanted to fail, but not this way. So the validation failed and the system went into halt or tried to reboot sometimes. And yeah, when I was successful, I was very good in train after some tries. It failed and the console came up. So I got a cafe and this had a lot of options. You could read flash it, manipulate the environment variables, and also get key, set key. So yeah, I thought, cool. Problem was, okay, if I use set key, it might brick my device, so it's not useful anymore. Therefore, here, right. Set key had a value in hex, which was an ASCII MFG1. Sounds like manufacturing blah. So I ended again get key, so I get log, what I was already expecting. Set key had a problem. You couldn't enter any value. So it doesn't accept any parameters, so it's a one-time thing. You set it, but you can't set any other values here. As I entered set key, you remember it was manufacturing 1, the value. Actually, it set it to engineering. There was another key set, then it told me. So I didn't know what to do. Should I reboot it? That was only the only option I could do. See if it bricked or what else. But it turned out this was good. So, open sesame. There's no more key state locked. It's just testing its memory and running up. Also here, key state in it. And it came up with a busy box. So this was after the system had booted. I had access to the busy box. Yeah, so I crawled to the folders, had a look on everything, what's running on it, and yeah, there came up some things. So in Aspen there were different programs available, also binary of a bootloader, and yeah, also CapWeb, which is the access point using to connect. This is what is it called? It's a control protocol for lightweight access points. So you have a wireless LAN controller at your company's site, and the lightweight access point rolled out anywhere in the field, on site, or like this one at the home of the company's worker. Yep. Finally, a reason why we are here. Not for this certs. These are of less interest. But for this ones. So there's the root cert and the manufacturer installed cert and the corresponding private key. I checked this by OpenSSL, got an MD5 hash of both pub keys, so they matched, and we got what we wanted. Unfortunately, we've got a MIC, and the private key, but the access point isn't working anymore. So if you reboot it and it tries to connect to the wireless LAN controller, you will have no success. It's in engineering mode, and yeah, always when they try to validate their certificates and build up the DTLS-tunnel, it fails. There is only one encrypted package, and after this it fails. So, problem was, how do I get it again back to the working state, to the key state lock? Because this was not possible via UART, as the set key program doesn't accept any values. Okay, JTAG to the rescue. This was very nice to use, but first it didn't work. I hooked up the JTAGulator, which outputs nothing, and also measured the voltage with multimeters. There was also nothing, except of ground on the second pin row. Yep. So I put off the RF shields of the Broadcom SOC, where the whole system was running on, and followed the headers from the assumed JTAG header, which was down here. Sorry, it's not on the pic. Yeah, and here I got some empty footprints for resistors. There were no resistors on them, but the traces, which I followed with a continuity tester, led here. So yeah, I thought, okay, what could happen? The device isn't working anymore, so let's place some solder joints here. And it's not looking very nice, because yeah, usually you could bridge them because they're so tiny, just with some soldering wire, but this didn't work for me, so I used some tiny wires to solder here, and yeah, it worked, so doesn't matter. JTAG works. Okay, we have this not so cheap JTAG debugger from Seger, which is called J-Link, which is cool when it works because it's fast, and yeah, and it works. So nothing like the Bus Blaster, which was, when I used it, always pretty slow. But the problem was the Seger tools don't have built-in support for the MIPS architecture. And yeah, I'm not a big friend of OpenOCD. It's very awesome, but if you try to get it working the first time, yeah, it's not that easy. You have to read a lot, and yeah, Googling a bit, I found a simple script which has made my life easier this way. It provides a firmware recovery script and only needs a modified board file. In the board file, there is some info about the CPU or the SOC, which is used, and also the flash banks and partitions the system uses. So remember this one. This is what the AP spits out when it's booting. So these are our partitions we need, and yep. Here is DF. This is the certificate store. In here is the Cisco signed cert and also the private key. In here are some parts of the system which it needs to boot. In VRAM in here are the settings for the whole Cisco things. And yeah, again, key. I dumped this one. I dumped everything because I want to be on the safe side. But as I had a look on the key partition, I got this one. So it's just read backward, the engineering one, here the hex. And what could happen if we replace this by just, again, log. Yep, did so, flashed it, which took some time. And again, here key state logged. And the whole thing was working nice again. In the memory dumps, I said you could find everything else. I think there are much more vulns inside because the software they use is pretty old. They tell you, yeah, it's EOS, EOL, doesn't matter, nobody uses this access point anymore. I don't know if there are customers out who use this. And yeah, you could just use binwalk to extract the files. This works well for the certificates and the private key. There's some squash FS used, so yeah, pretty standard things. Some words about the disclosure process. At ERNW, we usually do the responsible disclosure way. So we did here. The disclosure timeline was pretty long for this one. On the 2nd of May, I mailed Cisco CERT, which is the Product Security Incident Response Team. First reaction from Cisco were just a few hours after I wrote the mail, because I dropped them the mail at our time, beginning of business day, and on their beginning of business day, yeah, the first answer came. And it took really long until they received the report. We had a lot of trouble regarding PGP because my Cisco contact has an old PGP key on the servers, so I wasn't aware of his new key, and he couldn't open my files. So it took, I think, about 8, 9, or 10 tries until he got it. Yeah. On 29th of June, they told me that they will block UART on boot, but they can't disable JTAG without physical changes. As I don't have a data sheet from Broadcom, I don't know if this is true, because there are usually some fuses which you can disable, so it doesn't work anymore. Also, there would be no crypto possible, so so you can easily read it all the time, the keys and certs. And they announced the bootloader update, which I haven't got so far. Yep. Yesterday, the case was made public by Cisco. I asked them for some document page or anything like that, and my contact told me that the CVSSV2 rating was too low for a security advisory because the product seems to be EOS and EOL, and so yeah, Cisco doesn't matter this. Yep. Yeah, as I have still some time left, I think we could try to do the live demo, because it's a UART thing and it's so time sensitive. I hope I have a still hand to do this. Okay, that's the way it's running. That's my last unit left, so the other access point blew up on Monday. There were some problems while flashing it. Don't know, never had this before, but JTAG isn't working anymore. So yeah, I'm lost at the moment. I can't also enter the bootloader mode because it's stopping to work before. So, okay. I tried to restart it and need to have a look on the projector. Okay, it's just a small thing. I hooked my wire up to ground, and as you have seen on the slides before, there's the first time I used some insulation tape, so now I don't. So I hope to hit the right pins. And I also had to fix this PCB while I was soldering the bridges on the empty footprints. Some accident happened, and I damaged a trace. And fixing a trace of this size isn't this easy. So yeah, I scratched some more from the PCB to get access on the trace, soldered some tiny wire on it, soldered it directly to the pin header, and fixed it with blue tack, if anyone knows this. So it's working, but yeah. Okay, let's try the UART bootloader thing. Okay. Hope this works. Nope. I said it's the time frame from about a few hundred milliseconds. Nope. Yeah, it failed. So system hold. Okay, this was too early. When I did this a lot of times, every try worked. But now I didn't do this a long time. Nope. Okay, one last try. Nope. Okay, but we are lucky. So I didn't use this access point a long time, so I didn't know about the key state. And as I tried it before an hour ago, I saw this access point was already unlocked. So it's just possible by hitting Control-C to get into CFE. Call the help, call get key. Oh, I usually don't use putty. Wait a sec. Is there invert? Colors. Okay. Cursor text, cursor color. Okay. Needs a restart. Oh, sorry. No problem. Yeah, that's a bad thing in a presentation when you use a tool that you don't usually use and which is not in your, Okay, sorry. Hope this works somehow. As we can see here, the get key. Oh, this works. Improvisation for the win. So get key is now in the ENG1 state. And that's the whole thing is if you use set key again, It says keywrite to init done, and if we restart it, it's still the same. So here's our busy box. So I have direct access to the shell, could load something via TFTP and manipulate the IP settings. But problem is, as said, it will not work within wireless LAN controller because the crypto won't work. Don't know why exactly. It's a thing of the program. So if you do a ls of, I think it was temp cert. So here are our signed cert and also the brief key. And that's the whole thing we wanted to have. So, okay. Nope, wrong slide. Sorry. Okay, that was my talk. Thank you for your attention. If you have questions, just ask. As said, there will also be a white paper for those who are interested in it, how I've exactly done this, and I think I will release it on Monday, Tuesday, anything around that, beginning of next week. Yep. Are there any questions around here?
Hi, thank you for your talk.
Thanks.
You mentioned you had several of those APs. Did they have the same keys and certificates on every AP, or did they have individual ones?
Individual ones.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Yep, fine. Have a nice day. Thanks.